So now we're going to do an example of what tends to be a difficult conversation, which is coaching. Now, we're all human, and usually when we're managers, we tend to just have a list of issues we have with people, and we just like to give it to them and have them change it. But as we know, that is not always the best way to tackle it. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make a prompt. I'm going to just a new GPT here, and I said one of our senior project managers has had the following issues repeatedly occur. Please create a document for me to run a coaching meeting with them that's constructive. One, he's way too hostile when disagreeing with someone. Two, he interrupts people a lot. Three, I can't stand the way he goes on and on when explaining something. And four, he doesn't notify me he's going to be late on a commitment. So it responds to this document. It gives, a purpose statement. It talks about how to open the meeting, gives me a script to kind of, prepare the meeting, prepare the teammates so that, they feel it's going to be constructive. Goal is not to criticize, etc. Highlight some strengths. That was a good idea, which I always tend to forget to do. And then it goes into the key areas for growth. And for each area, it talks about the observed behavior, the impact it has on others, what suggestions we have, and maybe some prompts to help the person talk through it. So this is pretty good, right? It's obviously way more constructive than, I hate your face, for example. But we can actually take it to the next level. So now it's kind of tailored for your company. So for example, you probably have a core values document at your company. We have one here. So you can see here that we have core values of growth, and growth within growth. We talk about behaviors we expect from people, learning from past mistakes. When we fail, ask ourselves if we can do better, et cetera, et cetera. Same thing under action, taking ownership. What are the behaviors that looks like? Teamwork. You get it, right? All right. So now I ask, relate the issue to the core value behaviors it's not aligned with. And as you can see, it goes through the document, and for each behavior, it actually talks about what core values misaligned and what behaviors are violated, and then the message to the employee that explains how this is not how we do things at Susco and why. And it does all those. Now, let's say, for example, you've got a very robust employee performance management process. And this is, so this, for example, would be a competency list. So attention to detail, and then what that means. Now, a lot of companies will have a universal list of competencies. Others will have the same competency name, but different detail for the professional. For example, a senior project manager is expected to have more personability than, say, a junior developer. And so the description would be different, right? So now we ask the GPT to tie the issues when competency is not being met along with rated core value. So it does so. And if you look for each issue, you've got the competency gap, communication skills, PM roles, giving, receiving feedback. But if you look at this, almost all of these are the top issues, right? So when you get a result like this when using ChatGPT, where it's starting to get repetitive, and this happens very often if you give it data in a set, it kind of, for lack of a term, it gets lazy. And so I noticed that while it read well, clearly it wasn't going through the whole document since it was only catching a couple competency gaps. So what I did was I said, do it again, but think hard to make sure you look at all the competencies. And it took much longer this time. So looked at the competencies, it made a coaching matrix, and it actually, on this version of the output, you can see for any given behavior, it really went through the whole list of where they weren't aligned with the competencies. The behavior of hostility when disagreeing, what competency gaps it's showing, interrupting hits 3, when explaining hits a different 3, notification hits 5. And so this is a much more robust document. It really kind of gets the point across that there needs to be some improvement. Now, I didn't show you this here, but as you saw with the virtual ghostwriter example, you could take the core values and the competencies and actually put it in the GPT, so you don't have to keep repeatedly uploading it. You could just upload your current issues.